Public procurement in Kenya is governed by Article 227 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, the Public Procurement and Disposal Act 2005, and its attendant regulation and instruction issued by the Public Procurement Oversight Authority, PPOA.
Public procurement involves...
Today, Kenya hosted for the third time the East Africa Procurement Forum on its 11th session, having previously hosted in 2009 and 2014. The conference, which is themed Strengthening Integrity and Accountability in Public Procurement, brought together EAC member states.
Thereafter, invite.
The conference was officially opened by the Chief Administrative Secretary on behalf of CS National Treasury and Planning, CAS, Nelson Gaishuhie, started by breaking down the role of public procurement.
Ladies and gentlemen, public procurement is a key driver in the economy, as governments are the largest consumers of goods, works and services. According to Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, estimates the impact of public procurement stands at an average of between 10 and 15% of the gross domestic product. Thus, the strategic role of public procurement in the delivery of national development goals and that facilitates the private sector to thrive as well as enhance the quality of services to the public is very critical.
The CAS went on to highlight the consequences of a procurement system that is not effectively guarded.
Given the magnitude of public procurement in economy, it is one of the areas highly prone to corrupt practices and fraud, which if not effectively guarded, could lead to mismanagement of scarce resources, loss of value for money, high cost of doing business with the government, inflated tender prices, lack of accountability, competition, transparency and fairness in procurement process. The end result is poor services to the public and depressed economic growth.
On matters regional integration, Nelson Gaishuhie was empathetic that countries cannot work in isolation.
Towards achieving the principles of public procurement that include transparency, accountability, competitiveness, efficiency, effectiveness and predictability, integrity and corruption control, value for money, professionalism and fairness. Countries cannot achieve these principles in isolation, but through dialogue, cooperation and mutual collaboration with each other. To this end, we commend the public procurement regulatory institutions within the East African partner states who conceptualized this forum.
Chairperson, Public Procurement Administrative Review Board, on their part, shed some light on the role of the Review Board.
Since the year 2000, Kenya's bid protest mechanism has progressively grown to maturity. The Public Procurement Administrative Review Board was then at its formative stages, known as the Procurement Appeals Board, which operated as a unit within the Ministry of Finance. It has now grown to be established as a central independent appeals review board, whose chairperson is equivalent to a judge of the High Court. The review board has played a key role to promote and uphold fairness, transparency, accountability, and confidence in the public procurement and asset disposal system through judicious and impartial adjudication of matters arising from disputed procurement and asset disposal proceedings.
While his counterpart, Chairperson, Public Procurement Administrative Regulatory Board, Andrew Musangi, challenged those in attendance to invest in linking up all systems in government with the e-procurement to enhance transparency.
Is e-procurement alone, standing within the procurement bodies, enough? Should we not consider every electronic system in government linking to the next one? For example, should we not be tied in with company registration being electronic so that we know whether we are dealing with ghost companies? Should we not be inextricably linked with our respective revenue authorities? should our payment portals not be linked with our tax systems? And should they not also be equally electronic, whether it is a county in one corner of the country paying a supplier who then is linked with the tax system, which is centralized? This transparency, in my humble submission, is what will enhance accountability.
The president has on occasion declared a wage war on corruption before his term comes to an end.
That we shall have won the war on corruption.
However, this fight cannot be won by an individual, and such requires a multi-pronged approach, and increasing transparency in procurement is a step in the right direction. Reporting for Bramplus TV, I am Corey John Wambugu.